You can't force men to go out and get killed just for profit.
Put that in writing. That you want to stop your men from working and earning a wage.
Miss Taggart, you don't understand.
Oh, no. I understand perfectly. You want me to provide the jobs, and you want to make it impossible for me to have any jobs to provide.
Oh my god, guys, it's finally here. Ayn Rand's 1957 book Atlas Shrugged, or a third of it, has been made into a movie. For conservatives and libertarians, Atlas Shrugged is like the Da Vinci Code fucked the Twilight books and had a baby. And today's Republican Party thinks that baby should be the spiritual leader of the world's most powerful country, teaching us the revolutionary, inspiring philosophy that you shouldn't give a damn about anyone but yourself, helping people is evil, and that the rich are the smartest, most deserving people in the world. The film is set in 2016 after a massive economic collapse, with the world enduring sky-high unemployment and gas near $40 a gallon. But Atlas Shrugged says screw the world and spends almost all its time in the mansions, cushy offices, and fancy parties of the fabulously insulated wealthy, whose lives are blissfully untouched by the crisis. But the evil government has used the collapse to make a socialist power grab, stifling the creativity and innovations of benevolent capitalists like Henry Reardon, played by Grant Bowler, who wants to get his superior Reardon medal on the market. Taylor Schilling plays Dagny Taggart, who runs her family's railroad company and wants to use Reardon metal to update aging tracks and save the family business. If only the government would let her. At the same time, CEOs, executives, and corporate royalty, who we've established are our superiors, have been mysteriously disappearing, which has something to do with the question, who is John Galt? And there's also something about a new kind of engine that's apparently really awesome. If all this sounds incredibly boring, that's because it is. Incredibly boring. It felt like I'd walked into the middle of negotiations between some companies I'd never heard of, involving people I didn't like, regarding business I didn't care about. If you thought Star Wars: The Phantom Menace really needed more scenes about the Trade Federation, Atlas Shrugged is the movie for you. Now, there are plenty of great films where people just talk about something you know little about, like 12 Angry Men, Glengarry Glen Ross, and The Social Network. But what makes those films work is that the people doing the talking have personalities and histories you might relate to or sympathize with. But in Atlas Shrugged, it's almost impossible to care about anyone since they're all conniving politicians, rich jerks, or emotionless corporate robots, and we're supposed to root for the robots. Atlas Shrugged has a rushed, made-for-TV feel, maybe because the film was hurried into production on a low budget before the producer lost the rights to the book, or that director Paul Johansson is best known as an actor on the WB show One Tree Hill and the director of no feature films. So what are the good things about Atlas Shrugged? Taylor Schilling is easy on the eyes, some of the digital cinematography is decent, and that's it. Now let's get to the wonderful ideas the film champions. In the real world, we celebrate people who give to those in need, from volunteers at a soup kitchen to wealthy philanthropists to a family that takes in a neighbor who lost her house. We honor those who risk their lives to help others, like first responders, soldiers, and aid workers. We value teamwork, selflessness, and the willingness to sacrifice for a greater cause, like freedom, democracy, and a better world for our children. But Atlas Shrugged and conservatives say that that's all wrong. That greed and selfishness are the greatest virtues. The wealthy and privileged are the real victims. The poor and most of the middle class are parasitic looters. That sacrificing to help others is not only bad, but evil. And that we, as a nation, have no shared values worth supporting other than our own narrow self-interests. So not only is Atlas Shrugged Part 1 a shitty, boring movie, it's pinned to a shitty philosophy that's really a recipe for plutocracy and douchebaggery, which is why I gave it a rating of 1.5. And a fun fact, before Ayn Rand died of lung cancer because she trusted tobacco companies more than state-funded scientists, she was on Medicare receiving Social Security. I'm Jonathan Kim for What the Flick.